Hey dudes, my name is Riyards, and in this video I want to tell you how I paid off my 10,000 euro student loan in 3 years. I wasn't always such a great filmmaker and a YouTuber. To become this famous and so talented, I first had to get a degree from a film school. I mean, not really. Not only did I not learn anything that I could have learned from YouTube, I also got myself in huge debt. And when I say huge debt, I mean it's huge for me. I know for anyone watching from the USA, 10k seems tiny in comparison to your student loans, which are 10 times bigger. You see, I come from a rather poor family, and I also come from a family that believed that a university degree will solve all our money problems, even if it puts us in even more debt because we couldn't afford university studies. So we all took student loans, on top of the loans that we already had, because if we're gonna be smart, we can easily pay off all our debts. Well, that didn't really work out. After finishing university, I had 1 year to get a good job so that I could start paying off my student loans. The bank gave me 10 years to pay off 10,000 euros, which was totally fine because film directors make so much more money that I wouldn't even need 10 years to pay it all off. Funny enough, it turned out that in a country that has pretty much no film industry, no one is looking for a 21-year-old film director with no experience, no skills, no talent, no connections, or no money. So I applied to few places that were associated to my film degree, and most of them just didn't reply. And the ones who did reply told me to shove my piece of paper up my arse. I still needed a job because time was ticking. I did some freelance video, freelance photos. Some people paid me with free food. Some people paid me with experience. Which was fine because at least I'm doing something with my degree. I still had hope and I knew it's gonna work out somehow. Until one day, my only camera broke down and fixing it would cost about 200 euros. And I didn't have 200 euros, so at that point my film career was over. I was renting a flat with my sister together, and she did often notice that I wasn't as happy as I used to be. I got a job in a retail store and I was getting enough money to pay for the rent and food. I could afford an occasional pizza, and I did manage to save up 30 bucks in 3 months. After spending 6 months in retail, I understood that with my current salary, I'm not gonna have enough money for rent, food, and the minimum loan payment of 80 euros. There was just not enough money. Sometimes at the end of the month, I didn't even have enough money to pay for public transport, to go to work. And at that point, my sadness was slowly turning into a minor depression. My other sister, who at that point lived in Scotland, told me that their salaries are a lot higher and that I should consider moving to Scotland just for a while just to pay off the student loan. I had 3 months left until I would have to start paying off my student loans, and I didn't have much of choice, so my girlfriend and I moved to Scotland in the search for the big money. I got a job in the same retailer doing the same exact job, but the only difference was they paid me 3 times more than back at home for doing exactly the same thing. I finally had enough money for food, rent, I started paying the minimum amount for the student loans, and I had enough money left for savings as well. If I wanted to, I could have probably paid off my student loan in the very first 2 years. I had never had a lot of money like that, and after receiving such salary, I kinda went wild with it. I was doing alright. I mean, my university degree was still useless because no one cared about a film degree in Scotland either. But at least I got money, right? I bought myself a new camera, bought some new clothes. In the following months, I just kept buying unnecessary things, eating fancy foods, and instead of paying off my student loans, I just spent it all because I finally could. But even with the extra money and few nicer things, if I would be left alone, out of nowhere from the dark corner came a dark monster telling me that you have a 10,000 euro debt because of a degree that's useless. And I would become depressed. Every night before I would fall asleep, I would think about my student loan. So after a year of enjoying a better life, I started analyzing myself and I kind of understood that the student loan is quite a big reason why I'm such a sad, depressed piece of shit. I started reading more books and watching more YouTube videos about financial advice and some motivational about how to get your life together. I was motivated enough and I knew that I do not want to have a student loan for the next 10 years for a piece of paper that has diploma written on it. I calculated how much I could actually pay off each month instead of paying the minimum amount of 80 euros. So the next month I realized that I could pay already 100 euros. I mean 20 bucks more, but still that's good progress. I was happy. That was a small piece of a huge f***ing pie that's ruining my life. and I still had enough money to buy the things that I wanted to. Next month, I paid 120 euros and I still had enough money. So each month I would add 20 or few pounds more and to see how much I can afford and then just spend less on stupid shit. And then I calculated that if I have no other spendings, I can afford to put 250 euros each month, and it would take me up to 3 years to pay off the whole student loan, which is definitely better than the 9 years that I had left. I spent about 5 months like that without no spendings, and all my money went into paying off my student loan. I was feeling a lot better about the debt situation, but I was poor again, and that sucked. I knew I was doing the right thing, but I also understood that my mind is gonna torture me like that for the next 3 years. Because even though I'm doing something in progress, the feeling of having huge debt didn't disappear at all. I was highly motivated to get it out of the way as quickly as I could, and I started putting in 300 euros, then 4, then 5, and I even managed to send 700 euros 2 months in a row. And in May of 2019, I sent away my last payment for my student loan and it was over. And I have to say, it feels almost as good as I imagined it would be. It's not like it completely cured my depression and everything. I'll still have to keep on working on that. But at least I'm not gonna torture myself anymore for having a fat loan for a useless degree. I feel like I can put it behind me and move on. I probably didn't make the best decision in my life a few years ago, but I paid it off and the problem's fixed. My whole life doesn't revolve around it anymore and I can concentrate on other things in my life now. I know this video was super long and I'm sorry if you expected this to be a get rich quick video, because it isn't. My big secret of paying off debts quickly was going to work and not buying stupid shit. I know it's kind of boring, but that's reality. And maybe this will inspire some of you to start dealing with the things that bother you the most. I don't know, but I know that sharing stories like this helps me to clear my mind. And if you got nothing out of this, well, sorry, you just wasted a couple of minutes of your life and you're not gonna get them back. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any inspirational stories, you can share them in the comment section with me. And if you would like me to make these kind of videos more, leave a like and subscribe because numbers matter, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!